Welcome to the Midlife Rider Project. This is a place for riders who have lived a little and learned a lot. A place for honest reflection, lived experience, and listening for the wisdom that emerges as we ride through this second season of life. We've all seen that horse, the one with the movement that brings a tear to your eye. It has beautiful conformation, incredible chrome, and a pedigree that reads like absolute royalty. He's gorgeous, talented, and he's currently flying halfway across the arena sideways because a leaf blew in the dirt in front of him. Oh, in our 20s, we might have called that spirited or sporty or even fun. In our 40s, 50s, and 60s, we call that a reason to stay in the tack room or go hide in the bathroom. Because the truth is, you don't ride that fancy pedigree, and you certainly can't enjoy that big trot if you're too terrified to even put your foot in the stirrup. Welcome to the podcast. Today, we're talking about the ultimate midlife equestrian luxury, a horse with a great brain. We're diving into why buying for temperament is not settling. It's actually the smartest investment you'll ever make. So let's talk about finding your unicorn. I want you to picture the Ferrari at your barn. Every barn has one. He's the imported warm blood that everyone stops to watch when the trainer rides him. He looks like he just stepped out of the pages of an equestrian magazine. But if you look closely at his owner, she spends a lot of time grooming him, buying him matchy saddle pads, and doing groundwork. But she rarely actually rides. She's anxious. She's overhorsed. She's paying thousands of dollars a month to be a glorified groom because she's secretly terrified of her own horse. I can say this because over 40 years in this sport, I have absolutely bought the wrong horse more than once. I've bought the horse that looked perfect on paper and the one I thought could be my next step up. We often get caught in the ideals and dreams that these fancy horses create in our minds. And I know the exact sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach when you realize, usually a few months in, that you have made the wrong decision. You feel guilty, you feel like a failure, and your ego takes a massive hit. I've been there. I see you. But here is the takeaway for today's episode. And I want you to write this on the whiteboard in your tack room. In midlife, equestrian success isn't a blue ribbon won on a difficult or unpredictable horse. Success is the ability to go for a solo trail ride on a Tuesday afternoon without a racing heart. So, what actually makes a good brain? When I tell others to buy the brain, they often think I mean a horse that's practically comatose. But that's not it at all. A good brain is about emotional intelligence, trainability, things that just make a horse that much more of a pleasure to own. Here are three things you need to audit when you're looking at a horse's brain. Number one, recovery time. Because horses are prey animals, even the best ones are going to spook eventually. Even the quietest school horses do this. The true test of a great brain isn't that they never spook, it's how quickly they come back down to earth. Does your horse snort and jig for 20 minutes after seeing a plastic bag? Or does he take one good look, realize it's not a mountain lion and won't eat him, and then go right back to work? You want a fast recovery time. Number two, the user interface. Can the horse take a joke? We're adult amateurs and we are going to lose our balance. We're going to see bad distances to fences and we might accidentally drop the reins and we get left behind. When you make a mistake, does the horse get offended and hold a grudge? Or does he just kind of shrug off the whole thing and say, "No worries, mom, I got this"? Number three, the time off test. Let's be real. You've got a job, you've got a family, and a life. You might get the flu, or you might have to go on a work trip. You need a horse that can be out of work or just hanging out in a paddock for 4 days and be the exact same horse when you tack him up the next time. If a horse needs to be lunged for 45 minutes before you can get on after having a few days off, that is not a midlife friendly brain. Here's a reality check, though, and it's something I'm living right now. A horse with a great brain doesn't necessarily mean a horse that is completely finished or push button. I recently bought a horse with an absolutely stellar brain. She's kind and willing, and she tries her heart out, but she still needs retraining. There are holes in her education that I was not expecting. The difference is because her brain is so good, we can work through that retraining safely. She does not try to kill me when she gets confused, and she just tries really hard to figure it out. That is the magic of buying the good brain. Now, let's talk about why so many of us struggle to buy this kind of horse. It often comes down to ego. There's this trap that we fall into where we feel like buying that steady or safe horse is somehow giving up. We probably grew up in barn culture that glorified taming the fire breathing dragon types, showing moxie and grit was the way, or so we were told. We wore our survival of bad rides like some kind of weird badge of honor. But midlife friends, we don't bounce like we used to. Buying a sane, reliable horse is not giving up. It's leveling up. It's choosing longevity in the saddle. It's a commitment to continuing to ride for as long as we are able. And that's not a compromise. I have an episode about that choice that I'll link to in the show notes. Let's think about the math of joy. The hours you spend worrying about riding a difficult horse, or when you get a knot in your stomach as you're driving to the barn. There's all that money spent on extra training rides. And you compare that to the hours spent actually laughing and riding and bonding with a sane horse that has a good brain. The math is simple. Joy wins. Always. It's time to redefine your unicorn. A 15-year-old quarter horse cross with a bit of arthritis, but a heart of gold and a bomb-proof brain is far better for the 50-year-old rider with a busy life than a 5-year-old imported fancy but green as grass warm blood. It's okay to start shopping for your peace of mind. All right. I'm not going to leave you hanging here. So if you're horse shopping, here is my takeaway for you. This is the red flag translation guide and a 3-question test to help you get the best horse for you. When you're reading sale ads, you have to read between the lines. If an ad says needs a confident rider, the translation for that is he's spooky, he bolts, or he tests every new person. Swipe on to the next one when you see that phrase. If it says more go than woe, the translation is you'll be half halting for the rest of your life. And that is physically exhausting. So that horse is a hard pass. If it says professional program only, the translation is he's only sane because a 20-year-old working student rides him 5 days a week. So the moment you take him home and ride him twice a week, his brain will evaporate into nothing and you'll be left with a horse that's unrideable. Instead, look for the green flags. Things like the same horse off property, kick along type, and yes, even husband or grandkids safe. I think it's time to reclaim those phrases because they are huge compliments to the horse's brain, and they always mean the horse has a heart of gold. Before you even get into the car to go see a horse, ask the seller these 3 questions. What is his default setting when he's nervous? Does he freeze or does he bolt? We want the freezers, not the bolters. Is he the exact same horse off property as he is at home? And the third question, can I get on him from the mounting block without someone holding him? And speaking of that last one, I'm going to leave you with the ultimate test. If you go to try a horse and he won't stand perfectly still at the mounting block while you adjust your stirrups and chat with the owner, just thank them and leave. If he can't be patient for the first 60 seconds of the ride, he's unlikely to be patient when a deer jumps out of the bushes when you're 40 minutes into your ride. Your barn time is your me time. You have worked hard to afford this passion. Don't spend it overhorsed, anxious, and terrified. You deserve a partner with a brain as reliable as your own. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Until next time, keep your heels down, your chin up, and enjoy your ride. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this episode resonated, I hope you'll join me again next week as we continue riding through this season together. Until then, take good care of yourself and your horse.